people, my people, my people, people, my people, my people, my people. What's going on, y'all? How you feeling? Are we good? Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. All right, hold on. What we got here? What have we chunk? Oh, I think we straight. No, we're not. No. I said no. All right, let's get this thing together here. Let's get this thing together. All right, so Friday night, music night. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we give it up. Y'all know what it is. You know how we be. Tonight on the daily, I swear, man, off topic. I think some people be celebrating two birthdays per year. I don't know if they're doing it for the money or the attention. I don't know. But I see some suspect stuff going down. But you know, tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show, we are talking about consciousness and music and the opposite. Consciousness and music and the opposite. So what we're talking about tonight is the ability to have, social and political consciousness in your music, the kind of music that you listen to in order to get in touch with the things that are going on around us, the things that affect us socio-politically, community things, race, environmental factors and stuff like that. There's plenty of music throughout generations that has been aimed towards bringing awareness to the things that are going on in this world, the things that are going on in life, and the things that we need to be aware of and that we should take notice of, things that have kept us woke. Now, with MAGA and Republicans consider woke, I know that being woke is a good thing because there's no way being sleep is a good thing. But they don't seem to want to harp on all of that. And I'm not going to harp on it either. So if you're an adult and you got half a brain, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, whether we're talking about 2026, whether we're talking about the 2000s, whether we're talking about the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, there has always been consciousness in the music. There's always been messages that has been sent in the music to make us aware of the things that we need to know in this world. The powers that be that may be against us. Who the enemy may be and may be disguised as. And that's whether we're talking about the government, that's whether we're talking about our friends, our family, things that may put us in danger. And then you have the opposite. You have music that allows you to escape all of that, allows you to forget about all of your problems, allows you to just dance to the beat and lose yourself in the music and just party on down and sweat it on out and, do it, wash, rinse, and repeat. Hey, just because it doesn't have a message of social consciousness doesn't mean that it doesn't send a message to you. Social consciousness may send a message to your mind, but the booty shaking, the get on the dance floor, party music, it may send a message to your body. Regardless, there's a place for both. And I'm not here tonight to demonize one or pump up the other, because a lot of times both types of music not only has its place, but are normally placed pretty well and make you feel good. And I like to feel good. Everybody likes to feel good. Who don't like to feel good out here? So But we're going to talk about consciousness in the music, something to say or nothing to say. Something to say versus nothing to say. Now, I just got finished saying that, the party music, the booty shaking jams, all of that stuff has its place too. But then again, in the title, I kind of dissed it by saying that it might not be having nothing to say. And sometimes it doesn't have anything to say. And it's not always a party record, but there have been records out here that have actually been dangerous records. Records that have sent negative messages or that have encouraged violence or drug activity or negativity. So we're going to deal with that too. So when I say it has nothing to say, it doesn't mean that you didn't hear anything, but it might mean that it has nothing to say in the way of positivity or being productive. So that's what we talk about tonight on the daily. It's the Daily Go Get Mism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it whiz? We are here and we are in motion. 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 We are here and we are in. We are here and we are in motion. We are here and we are in motion. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. I said. And everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna turn out fine because everything is gonna go our way because this is the DJ, so I said DJ, but I meant DG. Please hit the like button for me, cause Friday music night, you know how we do. Consciousness versus the booty shaking. Make you think versus making you move. Levels is good, levels is good, levels. Levels is good, levels is good, levels. Yeah. How y'all feeling, yo? Consciousness and music and the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how we getting it down tonight. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. And And so we can show and prove that we free. So we can show and prove that we free. Let's get to it. Let's play our anthem. We're going to play it in the beginning. We might play it in the middle. We're going to play it at the end. Let's get our anthem popping. Shall we? Shall we? Yes, we shall. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get it popping, baby. Yes. 2026, I said, please stop fucking with me. That's what I need you to do. And you know who I'm talking to. I need 6 feet. Get out of my face. Don't make me have to ask you again to give me some space. Stop fucking with me. My name is Sun 75. Yo, I need space as long as I'm alive. Stop fucking with me. I'm a very peaceful man. But you can best believe that I'ma always take my stand. Stop fucking with me. Who do you really think you are? Stop O-M-A-R. Stop fucking with me. X is calling me on my phone. Stop. Yo, shorty, we ain't together no more. Leave me alone. Stop fucking with me. Family members in my pockets. Stop fucking with me. Nah, no space, these sprockets. Stop fucking with me. I wasn't fucking with you. Stop. Why fucking with me is something you wanna do? Stop fucking with me. The heat is really turning up. I need you to take a walk. I need you to get out of my face right now, yo. Yo, this the anthem for 2026. Yo, get off my dick and stay off to that. And I'm telling you right now, don't make me have to pick. When I start rocking, I'm trying to tell y'all right now, yo, the God is clocking. We warming up. We got on my warm-up suit. It's a warm-up suit. We warm, we good. Levels is 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 good. What's good, y'all? Tori 2200, what's good? How you feeling? Good to see me some you. T Carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peepers going directly into your site. And what's that? Lucian? Lash it. Enough with the noise. Oh, okay. Fuck you. All right. JJ, damn, where you been, dog? Where you been? Good to see you. Good to see you. Are you healthy? Are you good? You straight? I hope so. I hope so. And Carp Diem he said, not sure why, but I prefer German metal. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Metal has a lot of messages in it. That's one thing about metal music. They don't, to people who don't listen to metal, they think it's just a bunch of yelling and screaming and all of that. But when you listen to the words, or when you read the words, you realize that they send a lot of messages in metal. Only thing is with a lot of American metal music, they send a lot of racist messages, you know what I mean? Very, very nationalistic type of shit. But that's not all metal. That's not all metal. What's up, my brother Time? My brother Time is all up in the house. What's good, my dude? What's good, my dude? What's up? What's up, y'all? Everybody good? I hope everybody is feeling healthy today. We made it all the way to Friday. You know, it might not be as easy as it looks. It might not be as easy as it looks for everybody. It might not be as easy for everybody as it looks. But we made it here, and we here for a reason. My man Clay. My man Clay Biggins. What's up, my God? What's up, God? What's up? What's up? And Noah says American metal is racist. You have no clue what you're talking about. I said a lot of it is. I didn't say all of it was. So you have no clue what you're talking about. I mean, metal is not my favorite kind of music, but I know that metal is a very good choice, a very choice of it might be the number one brand of skinheads, neo-Nazis. Now, you find me a way to deny that because I've seen them listening to this shit. Also, punk. They like a lot of that shit. The dude named 5 racist American metal bands. No. It's your job to prove that it's not. I'm going to talk about what I came here to talk about. Now, I wasn't dissing metal, but if you feel some kind of way, then keep feeling that kind of way. I don't know what to tell you. But we're not going to... I didn't say all... Listen, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. I didn't say all American. I said a lot of it. And you can't deny it. It is. A lot of racists, a lot of skinheads, a lot of neo-Nazis. They really, really like the headbanger shit. Now, don't lie. Don't lie. You know what I mean? That's not the crux of this conversation. But this is called consciousness in music, and the opposite. Now, if metal does have racism in the music, that's a message, and that's consciousness for white supremacists. Are you gonna deny that too? Because if you deny that too, then now we got something to talk about. Now we definitely have something to talk about. And we can get into that. We're not going to only get into that. Y'all ain't going to hog up this show with that bullshit. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's punk and metal is also the most popular music in the extreme leftist scene. No, it's not. I don't know where you got that shit from. What leftists are you talking about? Because if you really want to get political about it, we don't even have leftists in the United States. We talk leftists, but in what being a leftist really is, we don't have that. Because if you're leftist, you're not really practicing a democracy. If you really want to get into it, and we're not. But Time says the whispers, Olivia lost and turned out. Lattimore, let's straighten it out. Marvin Caesar. Exactly. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about whoever made the comment. But yes, I agree. Some metal is racist. I mean, you can find racism in any kind of music. But it just seems like with white supremacists, particularly neo-Nazis, that's their preferred. I've heard some of the songs. Niggas, kites. I'm like, come on. That's why a lot of people think that metal is just a bunch of yelling and screaming. But that's consciousness for them. If you think about it, it's still consciousness. Oh, is Eminem a white supremacist? All right, let's keep it moving. That's like saying cars are racist because skinheads drive cars. You sound like an idiot. Okay. You just making that comparison shows your idiocy. I mean, cars are racist. Cars aren't racist unless they Teslas. Fuck you. This is the OJ's family reunion. We cried together. Backstabber, muddy. A lot of consciousness. Cardian says, hell, there's a newer genre of music, punk rap. Check out Chase USA. Well, punk rap has existed since the 80s. I mean, that's basically what the Beastie Boys were. But there were more. Punk rap has been around a long time. It may not have been like mainstream because a lot of it really wasn't that good. But some of it was, Clay says. Are we just listing conscious songs or discussing consciousness? What we're going to be talking about is consciousness in music. So what this show is about is titled Consciousness in Music and the Opposite. So we're talking about your choice to prefer either consciousness in music or just the party jams, shaking your ass, forget about all your problems. Not everybody wants to hear. Not everybody wants to hear messages in their music. Not everybody wants to think about politics or community endeavors or family or their jobs or their economic condition in their music. Not everybody wants to listen to that. So sometimes you just want to listen to "It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right." Do do do. It takes two to make it out of sight. Sometimes you just want a little, you want a little Kid and Play. It's Kid and Play. It's Kid and Play. I mean, sometimes that's what you want. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it wrong. I mean, a lot of artists that have charted high and that have had longevity in in music and in their careers have been just party. You know, they just partied up. Not everybody talked about police brutality and racial stereotypes or things like that. Not everybody talked about that. So wherever we had consciousness in music, there wasn't only consciousness in music. There were also party records. You know, just dance. Puffy didn't care about no consciousness. He told you, our records are going to make you dance. We're going to make you get out there on the dance floor. And those records sell. The consciousness records, they sell a little bit, but the party records, they sell a lot. And that's just a fact from RIAA. All right, what is this supposed to accomplish? I mean, listen, man, y'all on some other shit tonight. Said Paul Revere was hard. That was one of the dumbest songs. I mean, we liked the song, but what the fuck were they talking about with Paul Revere? It was one of the dumbest songs. It was one of the dumbest songs, the dumbest, most popular songs I ever heard. Summertime Santa, LL Cool Ray, License to Ill was Beastie Boys album. It was a double album, iconic album. And, you know, when I talk about consciousness in music or the opposite, the Beastie Boys were the opposite. They talked about drinking and partying and fucking up hotel rooms. They ain't had nothing positive to say. They was just, you know what I mean? They was just drinking and drugging and partying and rapping. That's what they was doing. But they sold 4 million records at a time when rap records were not selling like that. They were the number one selling rap group for a long time. Well, they had the number one selling rap album at the time. And it's funny because they had sold 4 million and Run DMC had sold 4 million. But the 4 million that I guess the Beastie Boys must have sold like 4.9 million, and Run DMC, Raising Hell, must have sold like 4.5 million. But they had it. They had the crown for a good while. Okay. But we're not just going, there's consciousness in music besides just rap music. You know what I mean? You know, we've always had our Marvin Gayes. We've had our Bob Dylans. For every Bob Dylan, we had a Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll, he didn't have no consciousness in his lyrics. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Now watch somebody come along and be like, oh, that was a conscious song. He was saying how, you know, you're a hound dog and you know, he didn't write that song. Elvis ain't had no fucking, he ain't had no consciousness lyrics. You know what I mean? So you're correct. My favorite era was Public Enemy. KRS-One, Rakim, NWA, short-lived period. And you could say that NWA you could say that all they did was promote violence, but no, they had a lot of social consciousness in their music. They just did it in a way that sounded violent, and it was violent. And they did promote violence. There's no way around it, but they still had consciousness in their lyrics. Just a different brand. Don't forget that song, Please Stop Fucking With Me, boss. Don't forget the great Donny Hathaway. Cannot forget that Beastie Boys album. Lived on the Billboard charts for years. It did. That was back when albums did live on charts for, an album might last for a whole year if it was really selling like that. Baby Grizz, what's good? All right, so I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I think y'all pretty much understand what we're talking about tonight. I think y'all understand what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about consciousness in music and the opposite. Something to say versus nothing to say. Something to say versus nothing to say. Let's get into it and get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve. I said get into it and get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve. I said get into it and get involved. These puzzle pieces. What up, my dude? What's good?
Get involved. Willing to work it out.
I hear you. I like that. What's good? How you feeling tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling like a black man shit.
You feel that's what's up. That's what's up.
I know you ain't got the music, but can you just give me a sample of the summer song?
Oh damn, you wasn't listening in the beginning?
No, I just came on.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. Let's go. This is my anthem, baby. This is the anthem, baby. This is the song that we sing when we bring the things that we want to hear. That bell ring. Hey, people in my chat talking shit.
Please stop fucking with me.
They don't know the God ain't trying to hear it.
Please stop fucking with me.
My spirit is centered. Ain't no.
Please
What?
stop fucking
It ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go.
Please stop fucking with me.
We here to bring the love.
Please stop fucking with me.
Trying to act like you are above.
Please stop fucking with me.
Yo, let me ask you, who the fuck is you?
Please stop fucking with me.
We came here to do what we do.
Please stop fucking with me.
Sun 75 and the DJ.
Please stop fucking with me.
And you know just how it be.
Please stop fucking with me.
Fake friends.
Stop fucking with me.
Yo.
Please stop fucking with me.
We gonna play it. We gonna say it. Today it makes me feel good. Let's get it understood.
Please stop fucking with me.
Word.
Please stop fucking with me.
Yes.
Please stop
I need 6 feet of space. You'll get out my face. I don't want to have to put you in the ground, but that's what's going to happen if you keep fucking around. Yeah. I ain't got to empty out my magazine. All you got to do is be a real friend, nah, man.
Stop fucking with me.
Ain't no my mama jokes.
Hope you are done fucking with me.
And there you have it, baby. There you have it. There you have it.
I think that's an inspirational song right there, bro.
I mean, this is what it's doing in 2026. This is what we need. This is how it has to go.
I honestly think they should play that in church right behind Jesus Work It Out.
I'm saying, you know what I mean? Tell the devil stop fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? They say you're always busy. Stop fucking with me, devil. You demonic ass You know what I mean? Ghouls and what's that? What's that shit? Gargoyles and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Man, he trying to mess with you, man. Leave us alone.
Wait a minute, are gargoyles real?
I mean, and with it, considering what the devil is, yes, they're real. Yeah.
All right. Build is met. What's good? All right. So that's what we talking about tonight.
And somebody called you Omar.
Oh shit, they sure did.
Somebody called you the O of Mar.
Well, you know how it go. You know what I mean? Sometimes, ever since we had to start using our app names, you know, it could be, you know, you never know who's behind this. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't mad at that. I said, it's Sun 752 or Omar with the R with the R. So I mean, I'm gonna tell you, you can't call me Omar. And I just said, you know, if I don't want you to call me that, I should have left it out of the equation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So consciousness and music and the opposite. Something to say versus nothing to say. So we're talking about what your preference is. Like, do you like social consciousness or social political consciousness in your music? Or do you just like to, you know what I mean, forget about the whole world, get on the dance floor and just, you know what I mean, party down? Because a lot of conscious songs aren't party songs. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are, but a lot of them really aren't. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to hear no Welcome to the Terror Dome in the club.
Yeah.
Although it has a hell of a beat, but it don't have a dance. Well, you know, like it has a strange rhythm for a club. You know what I mean?
They might not put the rap lyrics to it, but they might mix it with something else.
They might.
Yeah.
But when I think about a party song, I'm thinking about that's the song that they play. Yeah. It Takes Two. Rest in peace, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. All undisputed. Rob Bass, Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper. They made party songs.
Yeah.
Now they made some conscious songs too. Not Kid and Play. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Salt and Pepper did. Salt and Pepper made some conscious songs. Let's talk about sex. And what a man, what a mighty good man.
What a man and independent.
And that's true. So, some were able to balance it a little bit. But one thing about Salt and Pepper, they didn't go too far. You know what I mean? They definitely made their music so, like, they were sure not to name their song What a Mighty Good Black Man. You know what I mean? Like, no, wait. Everybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But yeah, consciousness or, just the party records. Now, party records have outsold everything. You know what I mean? What would you say 50 Cent's biggest hit was?
Oh, shit. The biggest hit had to be in the club.
It probably was. I can't stand on that and say for sure.
I can't stand on it, but I mean.
But that's
that's an anthem.
He was clubbing. Yeah. He was clubbing his ass off.
He told you. Hey, shorty, it's your birthday. You can find me in the club, bottom or above.
Hold on, let's look it up. What was 50 Cent's biggest hit in the club?
Yeah.
It wasn't Wankster. It wasn't none of that other shit. It was in the club. Yeah.
It wasn't Mini Man. It wasn't none of that.
All that crunk shit, Lil Jon shit, that was all party records.
Yeah.
They wasn't telling you to like nothing or nothing. Except maybe, some liquor, some pussy. You know what I mean? They might have told you to elbow somebody or shoot somebody, but it wasn't no.
Your favorite song, I'll House You by the fucking Jungle Brothers.
Mm. Listen, I didn't. Contrary to your belief, I didn't hate the song. I hated the genre. I did. I hated house. I didn't hate that song. It wasn't a song that I played on repeat or whatever tape, but I didn't hate that song. If I had to have some house, I could deal with that. That wasn't a real house song. It was housey. You know what I mean? It was housey. It was houseish. So let's talk about it. Like, so what would you say, Troy, what would you say makes a song conscious?
Well, what makes a song conscious when you're discussing certain situations that's going on around that time. You know what I mean? When it's about when you're having a discussion like if you go far back, we got Billie Holiday with Strange Fruit.
Facts.
You know, you got Cook with A Change Is Gonna Come. Even though they were slow songs. And then you got James Brown with I'm Black and I'm Proud. You know what I mean? You got the Isley Brothers with Fight the Power. So I mean, it goes far back. It might even go further than that. You know, I'm just talking about songs that I remember that my parents played, that my mom played, that my grandmothers and aunts might have played around that time. So I mean, and then we can always talk about the party songs. Shit, Isley Brothers, Twist and Shout.
Well, hold on. Let's stay here for a minute.
Okay, so you want to stick with the conscious right now?
Well, yeah, I want to make sure that we can define it. We can define it.
Pretty much, it fits an era. You also have songs like Teach the Children Well. You got the Bob Dylan songs. You know, you got songs. You got the Mama and Papa songs. You know, I don't remember all the songs. I remember them from listening to them. You know, but the songs that for around the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
You know,
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
Look at me. Yeah. I ain't no rich man's son. I mean, where is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Okay, now what I would say about a song that's conscious is that it's a song that they normally are trying to, send a message to somebody. They're trying to, they definitely have an agenda attached to the song. Like whether it's a mental message, like they want you to think about something, or they want you to take action, because it can be either or. But normally when you have a song that's a conscious song, or a song that has consciousness in it, they're normally trying to address an issue. So
it becomes inspirational.
Well, even if it's not inspirational, because it can be a warning. It can be what's another word for a warning? I'm trying to say that it may be trying to awaken you to something that may be going on. Like you think that somebody is a friend to you or helpful to you when they're really just picking your pockets, or they're really bringing you down. You know what I mean? And that could be your friends, your family. It could be the government. But when I think about a song that has social or political consciousness, I'm normally thinking about a song where they're not necessarily focused on commercial success, even though they can be doing that as well. But they like somebody sat down and wrote this song for a specific purpose, and they're talking to a specific person or specific people, or maybe a group, to let them know, like, listen, this is our thing. It doesn't necessarily have to always be somebody from that era. Like The Who. The Who had a song called My Generation in their early years. My generation.
Something about my generation.
And that was like a war call song. Like they were saying, like, this is our time. Don't be trying to tell us what to do, or try to, bring us down with your old rules and all of that kind of shit. And we talk about 60 years ago that song was recorded. You know what I mean? And And they were speaking to the consciousness of like maybe the hippies or whatever in that at that time. Like don't try to tell us what to do. Like we're young, this is our time, and just let us be free and learn the way we have to learn or we want to learn. So there was consciousness in that song, even though, I mean, that was, probably if you weren't really listening to the lyrics, which I think it would be hard to do, but you might have just been shaking your ass to that song. It had a good beat, So, yeah, consciousness, as far as I'm concerned, normally wants to send some type of message. So if you interviewed that group and you ask them about what the motivation for that song was, they might tell you like, this is us and my people, or people need to know about this that's going on. Maybe they've experienced something or learned something, or they know something and they want everybody else to know as well. So so you may be able to find conscious lyrics in songs that may not be what some could say was conscious songs. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Like it takes me out because, like you just said, every song, conscious music just doesn't have to be rap music, but some of the best conscious music of our generation came from rap music. You know what I mean?
Our generation, yes, but Bob Dylan was doing consciousness crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit, Jimi Hendrix was doing consciousness.
Bruce Springsteen was as well.
Absolutely. The Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil. It don't get more conscious than that. It does not get more conscious. Led Zeppelin, all day. A lot of rock groups, a lot of in soul music, except for Motown in their early days.
OJ's for the love of money.
Well, Time had wrote that in the comments. Hold on a second. Oh shit! Hold on. What the hell happened? I answered the call. Hold on. Oh shit! Now we're gonna cut him off. Hey, hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Now the PC kicked in, and I'm gonna have to. All right, let me break, and now I can merge y'all. Okay, we good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is level. Y'all here? Hello? Wait. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Are y'all here? I had to drop both of them. All right, hold on, all right? All right.
Huh?
All right, I think we might have it now. Hold on, Kim. Okay, we good, y'all?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
Oh my God, Kim's back. Oh, we miss you. Welcome back.
I don't do too much. I'm real sensitive right now.
Yeah, well, we know you're sensitive. That's why we're going to put a smile on your face and make you laugh.
Thank you.
All right, well, let me catch you up. I don't know how long you was listening, but
I was listening about
Okay.
I was waiting for the song to charge, so I was listening as much as I could.
All right, cool.
And then anytime you want to use a curse word, you can curse me out. I'm waiting on
Okay.
Voluntary whipping boy and shit. All right, so we were all right. So we were going over what consciousness and music is. Now I want to talk about the motivation for the opposite of consciousness, which could be considered just like the party records, the shake your booty on down records or whatever. Because although they may not be sending a conscious message, they definitely have a place, and commercially they went out. You know what I mean? So even though a song may not have a conscious message to it, it doesn't mean that it's not a song that you're going to really like, and it may not be a harmful song. I don't want to get into thinking that just because a song isn't helping, that is hurting. Like if you think about like Jackson 5, let's dance, let's shout, shake your body down to the ground, let's dance. That song ain't hurting nobody, and it's a good song. You know what I mean? So the opposite of conscious songs have their place. So when I say something to say versus nothing to say, I'm talking about a different kind of music that may not necessarily be party records or anything like that. They just may be records that are destructive. Like, we were talking about the Beastie Boys earlier, and in my opinion, some of the Beastie Boys stuff, not that it was really harmful, but I didn't consider it to be very helpful. They promoted a lot of drinking, tearing up shit, you know what I mean? Just acting wild, you know what I mean? Brass monkey, I mean, and it kind of manifested itself to when they were on tour. They got banned from mad hotel chains and all that kind of shit. Like, no.
you gotta fight for your right to party.
And it's funny because you think like that's a socially conscious song. No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
You call it by no means. By no means is you gotta fight for your right to party.
Party. Like you talking about like sneak out the fucking house. You listen to the words of that song. He talking about disrespecting his parents and shit, knocking them the fuck out. Like, yo, chill. Chill.
Smoke 2 packs a day. Oh my God. And in the video they was drinking beer and throwing beer around.
That Beastie Boys was on some other shit. So I could say that they had nothing to say, but that's not 100% true. They just weren't sending what I would call a positive message, which is why I would say that it was the opposite of having something to say. It was closer to nothing to say. But it wasn't that they were saying nothing. It's just there wasn't anything that I thought it was useful. And I'm not gonna just stay on the Beastie Boys, because you listen to today's rap music and all of that, and what do you got? You sure there's not a lot of consciousness. It's not a lot of consciousness. I wouldn't say it was devoid of consciousness, because you still have rap records out here and rap artists that bring a good message. You have your Kendrick Lamars, you have your J. Cole's, you have your shit. I mean, you got a 50-year-old rapper that has the #1 song this year with T.I. Let him know. Like, what we doing? When a 50-year-old has to be the one holding the crown now, where are we? Where we at? So tonight, I wanted to have a conversation about consciousness and music and the opposite. Now, if we listed all of the groups that you would say, the groups and or their songs that had consciousness, we would probably be able to do that easily. But what are the songs that you would say? What are the songs and the artists that you would say definitively were the opposite of conscious? And would we be right about that?
Well, we can go way back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We can go, I mean, you got the Ozzy Brothers, Twist and Shout. You know what I mean? You also got the Ozzy.
Wait. Because you got to understand what I'm saying. Twist and Shout, I wouldn't say that it was a destructive song.
Oh, so you talk about destructive songs?
I'm talking about the opposite of consciousness. Just because you're not talking about consciousness doesn't necessarily mean that you are talking. Like I associate consciousness with helping. So there has to be an opposite of helping. Now, whether you consider that to be hurting or whether
the opposite of help is the opposite partying?
Is the opposite partying? No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
So you're talking about like pretty much
like fight for your right to party.
Okay. Well, you got Public Enemy Fight the Power?
No, you don't. That's a conscious song.
Well,
that's why we need to discuss this. Okay.
So you referencing songs like
before we get into songs, let's talk about artists. What artists come to your mind when you say this group or this artist is destructive?
Oh, I think that girl who's dirty is Glorilla. I think she's destructive.
Okay. Now, why would you say she's destructive? Because you might be right.
So she's just dirty. Like anybody who's sitting up there talking about she got to wear a certain color underwear because she can't never wash her ass good is destructive to me.
Okay.
Like, what kind of message are you giving?
And does she? Is her music that way? I don't know any of Glorilla's music, and I'm very proud of that.
Yes, her music fits. You know, she's got that lipstick line named after. Yes, her music is like that. Yes, I think she's destructive. I think that other dirty girl who's on the ground.
Nasty ass Sexy Red.
No, not her. It's another one.
Well, but I think Sexy Red. I think she fits in that category.
Yeah.
She does. But I can't think of the other one's name. I can see her face.
How about Megan? How about Megan the Stallion? Let the GOP tell it. She's the most. She's the most dirty, nasty, destructive, negative face in music. And
Cardi B. Just throw out the song WAP alone. And that's it.
No, I'm not going to yield to that.
I would.
Yeah, I mean, WAP is just as nasty as anything Glorilla said in any song.
You know what? It's a funny thing about Cardi B because she's a popular artist. Cardi B has a way of making people take up for her.
Yeah.
She does. She has a way of making you think like maybe like she moves with a certain innocence, but she's not. I think it's real interesting.
Was it your question, people? Was it your question, people? Artists who are the opposite of consciousness, correct?
I said, well, we're talking about the artists and the songs, but I wanted to go to the artists because we seem to be struggling with it, with exactly what I was talking about when I said that consciousness is helping, so the opposite of that has to be hurting. So okay. I said, I asked what artists come to mind when you think about, that might be hurtful or, definitely not helpful.
Here's my take on it. Hurting would be you never have anything positive to add to anything. Not no way, no how, no nothing. Never. I've never heard anything intelligent or helpful come out of the mouth of Glorilla ever. I've heard some come out of the mouth of Cardi and Megan.
In their music?
Like
in their music?
You didn't say music. You said the artist.
Okay, but I've also heard. I mean, Cardi B talking about how she used to stick up. I mean, how she used to rob her tricks.
I love y'all. I'm out. I don't feel like going back and forth.
Okay. All right. Can we have a good night?
All right.
So, yeah, like, I don't consider Cardi B to be a positive artist. Like, ain't no motherfucking way.
Yeah, no, she's not. She does have like a sprinkle, or like maybe 2 or 3 positive songs, but the overwhelming songs are more demeaning to women than it is uplifting.
The motherfucker is destructive. She got, you know what I mean, all that WAP shit. She got these young girls out here feeling empowered to be ratchet and all that shit. I'm not going for that shit. And that's what I mean by certain people being like she has a way of getting people to take up for her. And I think it's right. I think it's magical. Because she's not the only artist that has been able to get away with that shit. Tupac used to get away with it too.
Yeah.
He got away with it the whole 5 years he was on. You know what I mean? People, he running around doing that old bullshit, causing divisions, being violent, but motherfuckers want to remember him for the, dear mamas and you are appreciated. Like, this, huh? Yeah,
do you remember hit him up?
What? Yeah, I mean, it was the yin and the yang. You know what I mean? Yeah. But motherfuckers just only want to.
But even NWA.
NWA did not try to be good. They weren't. That's why you gotta give it to them. They said, nah,
No, we gonna talk about our upbringing. And we're going to be just as wild. We're going to explain to y'all our shit.
This shit was called reality rap. So they were talking about their West Coast, California experiences of gang culture and street culture. That's what they talked about. They admitted that it was sensationalism. At least they admitted. They didn't try to kick it like, nah, this is us. This is what it is. They didn't do that. They straight up said, it's a fucking record. We're talking about things that we see and the possibility of the way things happen in our hood. And we make songs. They said straight up and down. I saw them in. Hold on. I saw them. Hold on. I heard them say in interviews, all we do is make songs that we think sound good and that we think that you'll like too. And we make them the way that we make them. And we say what we think needs to be said out here. I couldn't be mad at that. You know what I mean? But motherfuckers that try to, skirt the issue and act like they, I'm really good. I'm just, like I'm human and I make mistakes. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, so Cardi B is one. Like Kim said, Glorilla is one. Who else?
Sexy Red is one.
Sexy Red, absolutely. But wait a minute. I think we're being unfair because most of the groups of today we might charge with being negative. So let's go back and clean up our own house.
All right. Well, I can already go to one right now from the door. Okay. Jackson.
I wouldn't put her in that category.
So she wasn't destructive?
No, I didn't consider her to be destructive. She talked about She talked about her pain in relations to relationships. You didn't hit.
But she also talked about her sexuality.
And that's
Bluntly.
but that's a form of consciousness. She wasn't out here telling you to fuck everybody and rob niggas or anything like that. She was expressing, in my view, she was expressing her sexual freedom. Like a man can go and fuck anybody he want, but if I fuck 3 niggas, then I'm a hoe all of a sudden. So it's 30 bitches against 3 niggas. So but most of her songs were not about that. Her songs weren't about sex. Her songs were about love and the pain of love, dealing with another, being the other woman and the pain that comes along with that, the challenges that come along with it and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put her in that category at all. I think especially her, that's like songs like Hurt So Good, that album, the album where she's like caught up in a web album is so fucking good.
It's songs that Millie Jackson put out that were banned. That you couldn't play. A lot of her albums you couldn't even play around the kids because they were so bluntly straight there, right to the point. And now, she might have been talking about, there were some albums that she talked about that, but there were some albums that she did talk about fucking. You know what I mean? And it was straightforward. Now I do agree with you on that on the first part, but it was,
I listened to a lot of Millie Jackson, and like I said, I don't see her as being hurtful. You know what I mean? I just don't look at it that way. And if we want to talk about songs that can be played or not played around kids, then all of the music right now really shouldn't be played for the kids. So it was I
agree with you 1,000% on that.
We're talking about the late 60s, early 70s. We talking about a time when you couldn't, a time when they showed married couples in separate beds. So we can't even really measure it that way. You know what I'm saying? We just can't. So, I mean, I look at it a little bit different.
What about Clarence Carter?
I don't know who Clarence Carter is.
I be stroking. That's what I be doing. I be stroking to the east, be stroking to the west, be stroking to the girl that I love best. I be stroking.
Yes, I would put him in that category. I would put him in the category as not really having nothing to say. I'm not sure if I would say that his songs were hurtful, but he definitely is the opposite of consciousness, and I don't consider him to have had anything to say. But I don't know any of his other songs. So, but if I had to judge him just on that song, then no. There's some artists that I think could straddle the fence a little bit. But artists like him. Somebody in the comments wrote 2 Live Crew. 2 Live Crew was definitely the opposite of consciousness. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Shake your ass or die. They brought the strippers into the game.
Yeah, throw that dick. Mm-hmm. I want some pussy.
Hey, we want some pussy. I mean, they made that rhyme. Hey, we want some pussy. Hey, you know what I mean? They didn't give a fuck. But they were definitely the opposite of consciousness. They were absolutely the opposite of consciousness. They created a lot of problem with tours. Like, we can't put Public Enemy and 2 Live Crew on the same tour. But they would do shit like that just so it would, because they fucking with the, you know what I'm saying? It was a way of kind of messing up hip hop and shit, or confusing people about what hip hop was. Good looking out, Builders Met. So, Builders Met. But yeah. Let me see. Like, even when, like, with Kid and Play, or shoot, Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. I don't think that they were hurtful in any kind of way, but they were the opposite of consciousness, if you ask me. Silly shit. They just wanted to have fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, well, but I didn't consider them to have like no real message.
Where does Parliament Funkadelic fall under?
For me, it falls under consciousness. Them motherfuckers was deep as hell. When you listen to Parliament and Funkadelic, when you really listen to listen to the lyrics, first of all, you got to get a dictionary. And you have to really know what they're talking about from a scientific standpoint and from a sociological standpoint. They were talking about a lot of social consciousness in their lyrics. One Nation Under a Groove?
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't talking about partying. You know,
even though you could party to the song, but they wasn't talking about partying.
Flashlight. Bop Gun. They had a lot of songs. Even Atomic Dog. That wasn't about no
Maggot Brain.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, they were conscious. They were very, very conscious. Yeah, they was bringing the funk. And a lot of funk records were conscious. So we're not putting most of the funk records in that category. Because the funk had a lot to do with fighting the power. If you listen to most of the lyrics in most funk groups, it was more than just the groove. It was more than just the music. Let me see. See, there's been so much consciousness. I mean, when you think about early rock and roll and stuff like that, a lot of those songs didn't have a consciousness in it. You know, they was partying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was fighting to get on the radio and, you know, chart and sell some records. But when the soul kicked in, the soul, you know, they talked about more than love. They talked about a lot of consciousness in their lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sam Cooke.
Mm-hmm.
The change gonna come. Hey, Sam Cooke died in what? Like, what, 60? 64? He died, I think he died the year before Malcolm, like 64. Like, so we talking about a long ass, we talking about 62 years ago. For, you know, when he was getting down. But yeah, he had a lot of consciousness in his lyrics. So most of the stuff that was on Motown, almost all of it until all of the stuff that was under Holland and something. Holland Dozier, yeah. All of that stuff was just love songs and by design. So by design,
even with Smokey Robinson, Holland Dozier, Smokey Robinson, and Ashford and Simpson, they wrote a lot of love songs.
They wrote a lot of love songs, and they were not allowed to make any conscious songs. So it was literally by design.
It was amazing that he allowed Marvin Gaye to make What's Going On, you know, because he really, you're right about that. Barry Gordy didn't want no social commentary songs. He didn't want that at all.
He didn't want it at all. He didn't want no divisions. He just wanted to sell some records, and he dressed the artist. So you had to conduct yourself and dress in a way that was representing Motown at all times. So you could, like, it was amazing that they was able to find ways to be on drugs and shit like that because he wasn't having it. Total control.
Yeah, I mean, he had an image consultant.
That's what I'm saying.
He had a person teaching them about how to be professional, even up to eating.
He basically paid for polishing, but he wasn't paying them no fucking money.
Right?
He'll pay for everything else, but you ain't getting paid. You're a star, but you ain't getting shit. You know, die broke into projects like Flo Ballard. It's a goddamn disgrace.
Yeah. And Mary Wells.
So, but still taking it back then, probably most of the disco era, you know, didn't have a lot of disco records didn't have no consciousness in it.
Social commentary.
But
Yeah.
a lot of it did. Burn Baby Burn. He's talking about Disco Inferno, but there was a deeper meaning to that song. You know what I mean? So consciousness is always snuck into the music, even if it didn't, kick the door down. You know what I mean? It wasn't all, how like in rap lyrics, if you really know something about the artist or like the beef that they may have, you can find the little indirect disses in the songs and shit like that. It was sort of like,
you're right.
it was sort of like that with certain artists that was doing the thing in disco. You know what I'm saying? They would hide it in there, like, you think we talking about one thing, but we really talking about another thing. But hey, if nobody say nothing, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we just partying.
Even with even How Melon and the Blue Notes, Wake Up. That's a social commentary song.
Well, I don't think they wasn't trying to hide that.
No, they wasn't hiding that at all. They wasn't hiding that at all.
But
it's just there's a lot of songs like we can put a mixture of R&B and pop and rock, all that together, and come up with a lot of fucking damn good songs that was social commentary. Even when you want to mention rap, you can even bring in like one of the, we talk about the message, and I ain't trying to go forward. I mean, if you don't want me to go forward, I won't go forward to that, but the message, and one of my favorite rappers is, Karis One, his social commentary alone and his music. And a lot of people don't really know he didn't change his social commentary until after Scott LaRock got killed. Because the first one he had out, Criminal Minded, had nothing to do with no social commentary.
Well,
not a damn.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Because Criminal Minded was a socially conscious song. It was just that he didn't do it in a way where he was telling you to do something. But if you listen to the lyrics,
but if I'm talking about the whole album, not just the lyrics.
But you can't.
The pussy is free, but the crack costs money.
No, I wouldn't. Wait a minute. I don't consider that to not be a socially conscious. I mean, he's still talking about, he's talking about a drug problem. You know what I mean? I consider that to be a socially aware song. Any song that's talking about, he wasn't telling you to smoke crack. He was pretty much telling you about the dangers and the problems that go along with crack. So, see, and see
so
that
the whole album social commentary.
No, but
that's all I'm talking about. I was talking about majority of the songs on the album. But you don't have your small dips and dabs of social commentary, but his real social commentary came out on By Any Means Necessary.
Yeah, but
that whole album was like that.
Okay. I think their first album was their best album, uncontested. But that's just my opinion. I didn't really like By All Means Necessary. I thought it was okay. Compared to Criminal Minded, I thought it was trash. It was okay.
Well,
you know what I mean? It was okay. It was okay.
I did like Criminal Minded, but I like the social commentary from By Any Means Necessary, and I like the social commentary from The Blueprint. Especially, I loved By Any Means Necessary. Cocaine business controls America. Ganja business controls America. That shit right there. When I heard that shit, I was like, this is some deep shit right here. You know what I mean? You got You Must Learn. You got A Black Cop. You got Love's Gonna Get You. I mean, he had a lot of fucking shit out. You know what I mean? I think out of all the rappers, other than Public Enemy, Trying to think of anybody else at that time. You got Public Enemy. You got KRS-One. You got the Stop the Violence movement. They only had one song. You even got the West Coast song. When they did their version of the Stop the Violence movement. Well, they're all part of the same gang.
Well, the thing is, we're not going to dispute that KRS-One is a socially conscious artist. So there's no disputing that. But I'm trying to find artists that we would consider to be the opposite of that. So, in that era, there were a lot of artists that were just partying. Like, we had, for every Boogie Down Productions, we had a Kid and Play. We had our Salt and Peppers. We had our
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane had consciousness in his lyrics. He was talking about a lot of 5% shit in his lyrics that a lot of people didn't catch. I mean, to be real with you, it's funny how everybody act like they knew exactly what Rakim was talking about when he was rhyming. It ain't no way they did. No fucking way. I was just getting into the 5% shit when he was doing his thing. So I wasn't catching it before then. So you ain't gonna tell me that all of these Christians knew what Rakim was talking about. They was just listening to his rhyme pattern and his flow, and they were mesmerized by it. They didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? That's why.
Even Nas, he really didn't understand a lot of Nas because parts of some of his raps was like 5%.
But Nas didn't take it as far as
not like Rakim did. No.
Yeah, Rakim, he was literally spitting lessons.
He dressed the part and looked the part of it.
He was directly spitting 5% lessons in his lyrics. Directly. He wasn't dressing it up. You know what I mean? So it's funny when everybody be calling him the God MC. And I'm like, do you even know what the fuck you saying? You know what I mean? It's like when Eminem is calling himself an MC God. It's kind of like this. It's the same as a God MC. No, it's not. But Eminem probably understood what Rakim was talking about more than a lot of people, more than a lot of black people knew what he was talking about and shit. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, the Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Princes, the Kid and Plays, the Salt and Peppers, the Dana Danes, I would damn near put Dougie, Dougie's earlier work in there, like when he was with Slick Rick. But the show, and then the show Lottie Dottie, then he followed that up with All the Way to Heaven. Yeah, Dougie was just partying. You know what I mean? He was just partying. And it's funny because they gave Dougie a pass. They gave him a pass for partying and even tried to kick it like he was kicking positivity. And he wasn't negative. But ain't nobody you ain't gonna tell me Dougie Fresh was no conscious artist. And I remember them trying to kick that shit in 87. I'm like, come on, man, that's a hard sell. You know what I mean? He's a human beatbox.
The only conscious song he ever did was Stop the Violence. I never heard no other shit.
No, I wouldn't say that. Because I don't know if you had Dougie's albums. So he kicked some consciousness, but that wasn't his forte. It wasn't. I mean, he's the world's greatest entertainer. How conscious you gonna be? You are literally giving yourself a pass. Literally. So a lot of when the West Coast kicked in, when they started doing their thing, you could say that they were the opposite of conscious, but I wouldn't say that about all of them, because to the untrained ear, it sounds like they just was talking about a whole lot of killing and gang shit and all of that. But there are messages, there's social messages even in those stories that they were telling. We might not have liked it, you know what I mean? Like we may not have always had an appreciation for it, but like I used to listen to Compton's Most Wanted, King T, Ice T. Shit, I was listening to NWA when they was NWA and a Posse. We talking about 86, 87. Who else? They had a lot of artists coming out of there, and they weren't talking about a whole lot of gang shit and all of that, but they was winning. They was selling a lot of records. Even if you talk about MC Hammer wasn't what I would call a socially conscious rapper, but he definitely wasn't destructive. He partied.
He did have some.
He did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The children and we gotta pray just to make it today.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. But he was a party ass. He wanted you to party.
Yeah, he wanted you to party, but he wasn't hurtful. He just wasn't. He was the opposite of that. Heavy D wasn't hurtful. He definitely wasn't hurtful, but I would say his emphasis was definitely on partying.
Yeah.
And he was unapologetic about it. But most people that were on labels like Uptown, and then, of course, Puffy was Uptown, and then, Bad Boy. Puffy wasn't about that consciousness shit. Party, 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 party. He always said, we gonna make you dance. We make songs to make you dance. We gonna club it up. That's what we doing.
As soon as he came out with Biggie's first song was Party and Bullshit.
Funny thing about Biggie. If it wasn't for Puffy, Biggie would have never made the songs that he made. I don't think he would have ever charted. I don't think he would have ever charted, because where his mind state was, like, he had a totally negative mind state. He wanted to make, gang records and shit like that. He was down for the destruction. So he had to be polished and reeled in, and you know what I mean? Like he needed a lot of guidance, and it worked out.
Had to get toned down.
Yeah. But he wasn't on Bad Boy, Party and Bullshit.
When you was rapping, what type of rapper was you?
I've always been conscious. So, like, I don't. Yeah, I would. There's no way I would have made party records. Like when me and Jason was doing our thing, we was into the lyrics. You know what I mean? We would have been more like probably closer to like what the Roots were doing, because we was working on routines, and you're like Jason would study like the way that Das Effects rhyme, like how they had their timing down, and how he would watch their performances, and how when it was time for one person to do a line, like they would point to each other, like they had it down. He would clock their formula, and he would bring that shit back to me, like, yo, so we was gonna be tight. We was more on that type of shit. So yeah, and you gotta understand, we was in our 20s already. We wasn't like babies. We finished college, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't there was no way we was gonna do no Rob Bass and Easy Rock shit. We was lyrical. we was lyrical. So yeah, like so yeah.
And everybody, Jason is Nice Gate Story. That's what we talking about.
Wait, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If he changed his name officially on here, he did it for a reason. Let him rock.
Well, let me apologize to him for doing that. My apologies. I just wanted people to understand the greatness of Son and Jason, and they rap. They used to be great rappers back in the day. You know, so I wanted to know what type of, because when you see Sonny on the show and he coming up with his rap, when he rapping, he's not just rapping just to have fun. I mean, this is what he used to do back in the day.
Well,
you know what
I mean, you know, we was on our way. You know what I mean? We was making some headway. I mean, it wasn't that deep. It wasn't like, you know, like we was known all over the city and all that kind of shit. We was trying to do it. You know, that, but nonetheless.
I mean, you did have Queen Latifah ready to fuck you up, but I understand.
Shit, that was before we was even rapping together. How about that? Ain't that's the crazy part. We wasn't even rhyming together then. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know he could rap. I don't think he knew I could either. It was crazy. But yeah, you know, when you think about what appeals to one person versus another person, like one of the questions that I asked in the one of the answers to the questions that I asked in the poll question was like, you know what I mean, do you like to just zone out? Do you like music that makes you want to dance and party? Or do you like music that makes you want to listen to what the singer or the artist is saying and zone out on that? Because music has a way of invoking a feeling in you. It will grab your emotions and sometimes take you, like me and my brother used to sit in the dark and listen to songs by Led Zeppelin, like Kashmir and My Time of Dying and shit like that. And you know, at 16, 17 years old or whatever, you know, that's, you think you know what you're really listening to, but you might not. You're processing it differently. So we was lost in the music and lost in the lyrical content too. We didn't really know what they was talking about, but we know they were saying some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I thought when, like in Kashmir, when Led Zeppelin says Yellow Desert Streams, he said there's something that took me to that place, Yellow Desert Streams. I thought he was talking about a piss test. I thought he was talking about a drug test. Like, took me to that place, Yellow Desert Streams. Yeah. And I don't know why I thought that. But that's the mind of a 16 or 17-year-old. You don't really know. You know, so like, let me put a little disclaimer out there. I still don't know what the fuck they were talking about. But they weren't talking about a drug test. Now, were they talking about drugs at all? Possibly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So that song had some social consciousness in it that I just wasn't aware of. You know what I mean? Like, they were definitely saying something, and it wasn't a party record. It was a record that you would, you know, just maybe take a drink, take a puff, pop a pill, and be like, yo, yeah, they doing some shit. And that song wasn't from our era. You know, Led Zeppelin ain't from our era. We was listening to it anyway.
Like the early 70s and the 60s, late 70s.
Late 60s, early 70s.
Early 70s, yeah.
They ain't make a whole lot of music in the 80s and all of that. All that stuff was old. So, yeah.
I think by the time the 80s came, they had broke up and then they got back together again.
Well, the drummer John Bonner, he passed in the 70s, in the early 70s.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, you're not going to easily find another drummer like that. He was different.
It takes me out because when I go out, if I'm out and I'm at a club or I'm somewhere, I don't mind. I mean, I want to listen to party music, but now if they was to throw in like Self-Destruction, or they was to throw in Welcome to the Terror Dome and shit like that, I wouldn't even mind that, because it's not, when you out and about, you're not listening to the lyric of the song. You're vibing to the music. And I'm always a firm believer of when you go out, you partying, the most important part is that you enjoying yourself, and the music and the beat and the rhythm is what's gravitating you. Only when you at home and you chilling or you cleaning the house or you eating something or you just, you know what I mean, you vibing in the house is when you listen to the lyrics and stuff like that. And that's when you really get deep into the music. You know what I mean? Because when you out, the first thing you say is, that's my shit. That's your shit because you gravitate to the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, once you start at home and you start learning the lyrics, now when you're out in the club and you like the lyrics, you be rhyming that shit.
I mean, a lot of socially conscious songs have made it into the club. You know what I mean? Public Enemy had a way of doing it. They had a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was gonna make a way. So you're gonna hear like Don't Believe the Hype in the club or something like that.
Night of the Living Basshead, especially Night of the Living Basshead.
Yeah, songs like that. You know, Rebel Without a Pause. You're gonna get that. You know, so
no, when it's time to leave, you might hear Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. When it's time to go, because they're ready for you to get the fuck out. You ain't gonna hear that. It's a party song. By no means.
Hold on. Jason talking about something. I remember sitting in my basement with you, son, smoking blunts and probably drinking too. And you were like, you know who I like? Led Zeppelin. But you said you were admitting a secret. Hey, you know how it was? You know what I'm saying? But I never gave a fuck. I kept that shit in my yellow Walkman, the yellow sport Walkman, the waterproof joint.
I remember always wanted one of them, man.
Man, I had like 3 of them. I used to run through Walkmans like cheap tapes, like cheap TDKs and shit, because I rocked my shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So,
I didn't get my first Walkman until I worked at Consumers, and I took that, and then when the Walkman was going out of business, I took my first 2 portable CD players. The Sony ones.
Man, listen, it was, but because I listened to a Walkman a lot, I wasn't listening to the radio a lot. So my approach to music was different. And the way I listened to music was different because I listened to albums all the time. So
plus it was more personable.
It was.
It was more personable.
But the lyrics were right there in my ear. So I couldn't act like I didn't know. And you know it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing because my brother used to rock his Walkman a lot too. But if you listen to we could listen to the same song and we wouldn't hear the same thing. If I listened to his Walkman versus listening to my Walkman, because he used to equalize his shit to have all his bass, and you couldn't. He missed a lot of lyrics. He would listen. Yeah. He would listen in my Walkman. He'd be like, "Yo, I never heard this part before. Is this a remix?" I'd be like, "No, that's the regular song." And then I listened to his shit. I was like, "Motherfucker, yo, you got too much bass in your shit. You ain't got no fucking highs. You got no."
No one. You did that.
He had no more highs and he had no more basses in his shit. I'm like, yo, nigga, you need to turn up the treble. He got no treble.
Yeah.
So
you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something, right? There's one song because my son, my last son, my oldest, my middle son, because I got twins after him. I told him he was talking about Kendrick and he was talking about this, that, and else. I said, if you like social commentary music, because you like Kendrick, right? I'm going to let you listen to this one song, and you're going to have an understanding that back in the day, and I just let him listen to "You Must Learn." See, listen, if you was in high school, "You Must Learn," that song should have been part of the curriculum, especially at any part of time if there was an African American studies class. That should have been part of the curriculum. That one song.
I ain't really like it.
Well, I liked it because it broke down shit.
You know what? I hate to sound like I'm hating on KRS, but he used to be doing too much for me. I used to be like, you know what I mean? Him and that teacher shit. I used to be like, all right, we get it. Just spit your lyrics.
Come to the teacher.
Yeah, I mean,
come to the teacher.
Like, all right, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing too much. You know what I mean? And I used to, and after a while, I was thinking like, this motherfucker must be the best battler in the world. And then I heard his battle lyrics. I was like, oh, no, you're not. You're not. Okay, all right. So you're really a regular rapper dressed like a great rapper. He's a great rapper. I mean, don't get me wrong. But he used to hype himself up a little too much. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need to work on them beats a little bit. But, you must learn it wasn't a bad song, not at all. But I used to just be like you listen to the way Chuck used to spit his lyrics, and Chuck was nowhere near as lyrical as KRS-One was. But Chuck would just spit his shit, and you was going to feel that shit. But he didn't have to.
Chuck.
But hold on.
Chuck
hold on. The difference between a Chuck D and a KRS-One was that Chuck D didn't have to say, look, I know everything. He didn't have to do that. KRS-One was always like, look, I know everything. I'm different than everybody else. Look, I'm a vegetarian. And I don't do this, I don't do that. Like Chuck didn't.
He don't eat chicken or turkey or hamburger.
You know what I mean? I'm like, well, why you big? Why, you know what I mean? Why you ain't skinny then?
To him, that's suicide self-murder.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, he's just irked me with that shit. Like, all right, okay, you the best rapper.
And when he was singing,
we're really not.
Part, hey, son, listen to this part. He was talking about how he don't eat chicken or turkey or hamburger, but Miss Melody was your wife, and she was a thick chick.
She was eating something. she must have ate all the chicken or turkey or hamburgers. You know what I mean? Somebody was eating something. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I used to be like, this dude, man. Yeah. Okay, you know something about the Bible. Okay, all right, cool. It was like, I don't know. He was just too much. Like, I understood it. But at the same time, I was just like, nigga, just make the songs and get out the way. But let me see. Like when the Vanilla Ices started kicking in, and like the Young MC, like I can't believe Young MC is still getting shows. Well, not Snow is harmless because I mean he had one song.
Yeah. And it won a Grammy.
Shit.
He won best rap song.
That song is still keeping the coke up MC Shan knows. I mean, that's all he needed. He got funny. His name was Snow. The irony, the fucking irony.
What'd you say?
I said the irony of it. His name was Snow. He made all of his money off an artist named Snow. Shan. No tooth Shan. He got no teeth, man. I'm like, put your teeth in, God. Come on, man.
You know what? If he heard you say that, you know what he'll say that? He'll say to you? If you knew what he knew, you would kill that noise.
I thought you was gonna say that. Like he'd be like, kill that noise.
Man, I miss them fucking days. Well, that's when music was music, man. I mean, and the best thing I like about you and Jason and myself is that we're not one dimensional with music.
Well, a lot of people that you may have thought might not have understood did. You know, now it wasn't cool when we was growing up to be all
Yeah, that's what I'm
diverse.
talking about.
It wasn't cool. So a lot of us did it in secrecy. So what we listened to at the crib might have been a little different than what we listened to out in the world. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you went to schools with diverse populations and shit like that. So
I went to Greenfield. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could flow that way if you wanted to. It's just that it seemed like back in the day, you either stayed on the black side or you went too far over on the white side. Like, dude, you too far over there. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta ride dick in order to listen to some music and shit. It was like the either or the or. But but you think about groups like the Beatles. The Beatles had a lot of social consciousness in they records.
Yeah.
And but if you didn't really know their catalog or what they were really talking about, you would think the Beatles that like you kind of have to ask yourself, how did they sell that many records putting out the kind of material that they were putting out? But they spit a lot of social consciousness in they songs. It wasn't no fight the power type of shit, but they had
especially later in their career, before they broke up, they really had they had the ear to the streets of music between, civil rights, between injustice in the streets and especially the Vietnam movement.
They only had a 6-year run, dog.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years. I think they was on the Ed Sullivan show, what, like 64?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me see. How long were the Beatles recording music? 7.5 years. The Beatles recorded and released music together for 7.5 years, or about 10 years total as an active touring and recording entity. Yeah, they never made it to 1970.
Yeah.
They didn't make it. You know what I mean? So
and then when they parted ways, Paul McCartney and his wife had a group. George Harrison went solo, and John Lennon had Yoko Ono, and he went solo.
Yeah,
until he got murdered.
Yeah, so you would think that because they were the ultimate boy band and all that shit, and because they had this appearance, like the way the media tried to kick it, like they were like super clean and all that kind of shit. No, they weren't. You know what I mean? They was really bad boys. You know what I'm saying? Like they was doing their thing, but you wouldn't think that a group that was spitting that shit that they were spitting, you wouldn't have thought they made any conscious songs. You would have thought that they were just partying and towing the line. And that's just not what they were about. You know what I mean? I mean, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, Lucy in the Sky Diamonds, Hey Jude. Even, I mean, there were a lot of messages in the lyrics. They wasn't fucking around. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the way the media portrayed the Beatles was a lot cleaner than the Beatles actually were. You'd have thought that everything was, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah. No, it was nah. They did that too. But they had them and the Stones. The Stones, like, they had a lot of consciousness in they song. And even groups like Cream. And so it was a lot going on. And you got to remember, in the 60s, that was a heavy folk era. You know, so the Willie Nelsons and the Bob Dylans was and the Jim Croces, they was killing shit. They was killing shit on the social consciousness side. That, I mean,
ain't that your boy, Jim Croce?
I think
don't act like
you talk about Pat Croce. Jim Croce is the singer. Pat Croce.
I'm talking about Jim Croce.
You talking about
The
Jim?
one that be singing, be doing the hand gestures and stuff.
No, that's Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker, yeah.
Yeah. But let's include him. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Joe Cocker had a lot of social consciousness in his he's a bad man. He was a bad man. That Joe Cocker was
his biggest hit. Do you know what his biggest hit was with Diane Warren?
What? I know you're not talking about the
movie
Officer.
From the movie Officer and the Gentleman.
Was that his biggest hit?
I believe that was his biggest hit. So lift us up where we belong.
I don't know. Had a little help from my friends. He got this song called Last Night. It was something about a letter I wrote. I wrote a letter. Last night I wrote me a letter. Like that's you got to listen to Joe Cocker live. That motherfucker is bad. Woo, it's like
you know who he reminded. He's the male version of Rochelle Farrell. It was the facial gestures in the hand.
Well, see, what you're talking about is when he was very heavily on drugs. Earlier in his career, he was more straight. You know what I'm saying? Like he was suffering a lot of residual effects of excessive drug use. You know what I mean? By the time he made Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong. So, you know, like we gotta go back. But no, Joe Cocker had a lot of hits. He was a very popular artist. Very popular artist. But he had a lot of social consciousness in his songs. And let me make sure that we understand something. Just because you're not talking against the government or talking about race, that doesn't mean that you're not talking about something socially consciousness. We're talking about you can be bringing awareness of something. Even a love song can be socially conscious.
Yeah, even if you're bringing up something about the domestic violence or drugs or relationship, everything, all that is social consciousness. You know what I mean? I agree with you on that, son.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like
so
one of the biggest Rage Against the Machine is a heavy social conscious group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of Pearl Jam. People don't even understand that Pearl Jam was a social conscious group.
I can't understand a word he fucking said, and I love Pearl Jam. I've been like, what is this? He invented mumble rap.
Mm-hmm.
He invented mumble. He inspired mumble rap. Yo, I listen to Pearl Jam. I don't think there's a Pearl Jam song that I don't like, but there's also not a Pearl Jam song that I can quote because I can't understand what he's saying. He be like, I mean, what the fuck are you saying? And you read the lyrics, you're like, this is what you saying? How? How is this what you saying?
I mean,
it's fucking heroin music. That's just narcotic music.
That's what it was. Heroin and fucking grunge music.
But you want to talk about socially conscious? Pearl Jam went up against Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
they went up against Ticketmaster. They said y'all fucking up our fans' ability to come to our show by making the tickets all high. We don't want y'all selling our tickets no more. We'll sell our own damn tickets. Now that's crazy. You want to talk about social? You want to talk about a movement? And they got other groups to get on board with that shit. Like, nah, you know what I mean? They pricing our fans out of the damn stadium, and we ain't even getting that money. So that's hard.
Yeah.
That's some hard shit. That's like telling your distribution company, like, yo, we don't want you we don't want you sending our records around the world no more. You know what I mean? Y'all motherfuckers is dumb. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We gonna sell out of our trunk.
We got a press.
Yeah, man.
Record presser. and a tape machine. We can fix it. We can do this shit our own, man.
Oh my God. They talk about in the comments, Clay talking about something with tangerine trees and marmalade skies bars. Right? What he said at Clay, it was many years before I had access to the substance that gave them the power to see tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Oh yeah. Clay says it's the level of consciousness of the mind of the listener when your light is on, the third eye open, you begin to hear consciousness and everything. And that's a very, very good point, because that's right. That's right. When we're babies, we hear things differently than we do when we're adults and we've learned some shit. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's my favorite album of all time, Songs in the Key of Life, when I listened to that album as an adult, I was like, yo, Stevie was dropping some shit.
It changes you.
What?
It makes you. It changes you to a whole. It makes you an adult.
Listen, man.
It turns you into an adult when you re-listen to that shit.
You got to think, this man was blind his whole life. And he talks like he's seen color. Yeah. Like he's seen anything. You listen to songs on that album like Saturn. People live to be 205. Like, Stevie be astroplaning. And we know he's always been socially conscious in his music. You know,
all of it.
Yeah. And I mean, as a kid.
I mean, shit, one of his most important songs, all of them was important, but his most important song, it was Martin Luther King Holiday.
It was one of them. I like Master Blaster Jamming.
You know, because I mean, that song, Happy Birthday, people look at it as just a happy birthday song, but it's really a social conscience song about Martin Luther King.
It was a dedication song.
Dedication song, pretty much, yeah.
But so, like I said, so was Master Blaster Jamming.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he got some, listen, Songs in the Key of Life is, you can put that up there. That one and,
Hotter Than July.
Hotter Than July, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hotter Than July. Yeah, I mean, it's not one song that you can sit back and listen to the whole album on every song, every album, you've got to listen to the whole song.
It would definitely, it would behoove you to do so. That's for sure.
Yes.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Please just hit the like button. I appreciate that.
Even in the 80s when he had Uptown, what is it? 'Cause me and you, part-time lover. That one.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 words. That one and Woman in Red, the song he did with fucking Dionne Warwick. Everyone has got a reason to love. That one. This boy he's deep.
I mean, the remake of That's What Friends Are For.
Shit, yeah.
You know, like,
shit, yeah.
And remember that was a song, you know, the proceeds from that song went to fight AIDS. It went to AIDS research.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know that song wasn't an original song. That was Rod Stewart's song. That's What Friends Are For. Rod Stewart, that was his song first. And if you listen, do you remember the movie Night Shift with Henry Winkler and
Henry Winkler and I forgot, was it Deborah Winkler or something like that?
Nah, Michael Keaton.
Or Shelley Long. What was it? I know it was.
It was Shelley Long. It was Shelley Long.
Okay.
Shelley Long.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the song they play throughout the movie. They play the music, and at the end they play that song. But that's the Rod Stewart version. So 3 years later, they remade it. Dionne Warwick, Elton John, Stevie Wonder, and
I still tell people that when they fuck up, Oh, that's Prison 4,
Uh,
huh?
Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight was the fourth. Was the fourth person.
Yeah, that was great. It was Gladys Knight, Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And, I just told one of my boys yesterday. Do you realize Gladys Knight just started looking old?
Oh yeah, she was young for a long ass time.
She was
5,
young
4,
for a
3,
long-
2, 1.
Oh, that's my shit.
That's my shit.
My boys,
That's my shit, boy.
take the overtime for me,
She
darling.
kicked that shit. I remember the video. I was like, yo,
No, that wasn't a video of shit.
the video was dope as shit.
Wasn't a video of shit.
I'm like, what they do this on Sesame Street set?
Play that on Friday night video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the video was good. I was like, did they do this on Sesame Street set? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, we've been talking so much about conscious groups and artists and how they got down or how they got their point across. But the non-conscious groups can't be understated because they still made their impact. Now, Michael Jackson started making more conscious type of music toward the end of his life or toward the end of his career. But then again, I think he made attempts at it. You know, the wanna be starting something's the I guess beat it bad and all of that. I just thought it was bad attempts. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't feeling that shit.
Listen, man, you gonna leave my uncle alone.
Hey, look, damn, he your uncle and shit. Damn,
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Michael. Uncle Miguel. I never forgot I was looking at this documentary and he was overseas and this guy was just screaming, Miguel.
Well, see, the thing about Michael Jackson, I think he was looking for a different effect in his consciousness. He had a different goal in his consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, I think the conflict with Michael Jackson and his brand of consciousness is that I never got for me, I never got the feeling that he was trying to bring people together. I got the feeling that he was trying to convince you that he was the other thing instead of what he was. And that might just be me. But yeah, I was
the other thing as in the colorization of himself.
Pretty much. Like I think it seemed like he was trying to convince people that he had switched races some kind of way. Like you can do this too.
I think that he wanted to in the beginning he was making good music, but I think that the consciousness of him kicked in when Sony started fucking with him. When Sony started fucking with him because he bought the Beatles catalog and he had access to a lot of music and he started buying a lot of catalogs and shit. That they don't really care about us shit, all that.
But
you know what I mean?
They don't really care about us wasn't until the 90s. You can't when you talk about Michael Jackson, you got to take it back to the 80s and the 70s. You can't start in the 90s.
70s and 80s, he was just, it was all about music right there. I think that he wanted to be more pop and more global when he did Thriller. When he did Thriller, that was his changing. That album changed everything for him because, like I had told you before, even though he sold 5 million hits, it was 5 times platinum. He didn't appreciate Off the Wall like that because it didn't get the Grammys he wanted. He only got 1 Grammy, so he didn't appreciate that. So when he did Thriller, the first song he put out was "The Girl Is Mine" with Paul McCartney. So he can get that pop crowd. And then he went out there, he did Beat It, he done Billie Jean, then he done Beat It. What else did he put out there? They Say, Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but those Paul McCartney songs ain't do shit.
It did. It brought him to the masses. It made him more likable. He was already likable, but he felt as though not to us, but to the line of persuasion.
That
You might have
album.
looked at him different.
Well, what I'm saying is they didn't. First of all, Michael Jackson was just as known as Paul McCartney was, so he didn't need the crossover. He didn't need Paul McCartney to cross over because there was a major difference in age between the two of them and the genre between the two of them. And I agree that he may have felt like that would bring him some crossover appeal, probably with an older audience, because I think he was going for everybody. But what I say,
Yeah, when I seen the documentary,
hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. Those songs with Paul McCartney didn't make that album take off. Beat It and Billie Jean made the album take off. Beat It, Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller in that order. That's what made Thriller sell. Not that Paul McCartney shit. Don't nobody rock that shit. Don't nobody play that shit. And wasn't nobody really playing it back then. Well, the songs weren't that good. Say wasn't that good of a song, and neither was The Girl Is Mine. I didn't want to hear that shit. It was like it was an okay song. It was a cool song, but it wasn't no.
Son, I went to Greenfield. I loved all of them.
I went to Henry.
I love them.
I'll put my Henry up against your Greenfield any day.
You know what I mean, bro?
Hey, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? You wasn't in Mount Airy. You was downtown. So that's a whole
different. Big different.
What I'm telling you is, as far as racial diversity, yeah. Well, it was all black and white. I don't remember too many Hispanics or Asians and no shit like that.
Mine was black, white, Hispanic, Indian. I still remember my boy Fuad. They used to come to the school and he had an order to him, and nobody wanted to sit with him, so I sat with him sometimes. Fuad from Israel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But he was nice people.
Okay.
You know? I still remember Asian. I still remember the Asian guys. I forgot some of their names, but I still remember. I mean, it was a lot of them. The diversity at Greenfield, and it was also diversity at Durham, because I went to another center city school at 16th and Lombard. That was my first center city school before I went to Greenfield. So I mean, the diversity. I mean, comparing to diversity schools is not what you get from the diversity. It's what you take home and still listen to after you hear it.
What I'm saying is, Paul McCartney, the songs that he did with Paul McCartney did not take that album where it went. When you think about the Thriller album, you do not think about The Boy Is Mine. I mean, the girl is mine, or Say. Those are not the songs you think about when you think about the Thriller album.
You're absolutely right. But when I looked at the documentary and he spoke on that, he said that him and Quincy Jones, when Quincy Jones spoke on it, he was like, what Michael was looking to do is trying to add more, get a different crowd other than what he had off the wall, because he think Off the Wall was too much R&B. So he used Paul McCartney to get into a different space. So it might not be you right about the songs that exploded, but I mean,
can we just say that he used Eddie Van Halen?
No, I mean he used him too.
Well, but that's what brought the album to sales. That's all I'm saying. But only reason I brought up Michael Jackson is that Michael Jackson had consciousness in his lyrics, even going all the way back to the Jackson 5. They had songs that had consciousness in them. And as a solo artist, he definitely was interested in consciousness. Now, but his brand of consciousness is what I was questioning. You know, like when he started to change his appearance and kind of infer that there were no racial differences and shit like that. That's where he started to lose me. So he was trying to do a different thing with his consciousness than then I could appreciate. That's the only reason I brought up Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? You know, like Paul McCartney. That shit was ass. Paul McCartney ain't make no good songs with nobody. Even Ebony and Ivory, like it's alright. He ain't killing shit. Yeah. You don't need no Paul McCartney to make no good song.
Paul McCartney is wrong, man. No need follow on. I love that.
I leave him alone when he with the Beatles. Like I said, when he did, hey, I ain't heard a Paul McCartney duet.
Wherever we go, there is good and bad, and everyone.
I haven't heard a Paul McCartney duet song that you know what I mean that made the song better. It was like, okay, it's Paul McCartney. I think he can do better than this. You know what I'm saying? Let me find out. Let me find out that John Lennon was really the brains of the outfit. He would have made a better song.
A lot of people feel like that, though.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
I mean, shit.
He was the blood. He was just a little influenced. He was a little Asian influenced.
that thing was singing.
So how many hits did somebody said Michael did it? How many hits do the Beatles have though? Countless. How many hits do the Beatles have? I know you ain't talking about the Beatles like the Beatles was like I don't know, the Culture Club or some shit. like they was some flash in the pan. Like, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. But yeah, I think Mike had some social consciousness in it. He just had a different agenda, and it stuck out like a sore thumb. It really did. Like this motherfucker he's just trying to get us all to go over there. Like we can't all go, Mike. You can't go either. You go find out. You go find out. All right, let's do this.
He found out quickly, didn't he?
I mean, I don't think it happened fast enough, and it didn't seem to stick. He was stubborn when it came to that. All right, let's do it.
He knew. I'm gonna let you get. He knew when he had to go to the Fruits of Islam, brother minister, to get security when he was at that trial. Assalamu alaikum, Mike. Wa alaikum assalam.
You know what I think is interesting, and it's funny because I used to follow Nation of Islam so heavily, but I always thought it was interesting how they had so much respect as far as security is concerned, but I ain't never hear about them getting busy. I ain't never seen them fight or have to get busy. So how do we even know? And I used to be asking myself back then, like, we allegedly they're trained in martial arts, and you know what I mean? You don't want to fuck with the fruit. But I ain't never seen them get busy. I ain't never even heard of them get busy.
I heard of them getting busy. I'm from South Philly, so I grew up, I was a kid, but I grew up around the time of the Black Mafia Incorporated. I know about them getting busy with the peon.
I'm talking about the Nation of Islam. I ain't talking. Yeah, I ain't talking about. I ain't talking the Black Mafia shit. They wasn't fruit of Islam. They was Muslimish. I'm not including them. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the fruit of Islam. I'm talking about the security force of the Nation of Islam. I ain't never seen them get busy or heard about them getting busy. It's just like everybody assumed that they get busy. Like Navy SEALs, you don't have to assume that they get busy. You know they get busy. You know what I'm saying? But I always, just a little caveat. Like, How do we know? Like, they don't carry guns. What are they going to do? You ever think about that? They don't carry guns. No weapons. What are they going to do? Give you a karate chop? But they got away with it. They got away with it. You know what I mean? For some reason, nobody would shoot them. It's like bulletproof glass at bulletproof glass at the Chinese store. All right. Anyway, when it comes to music, do you prefer to listen deeply or do you want to move and dance? All right. 28% said I like to listen and zone out. Only 8% said I like to shake my ass and party. 56% said it depends on the artist and energy. Okay. And only 8% says I don't want to think about problems. I think that's interesting that only 8% said I don't want to think about problems when I listen to music. Because I've known people, a lot of people personally, that said, listen, when I listen to music, I don't want to, it's like the same people that come on social media. Like, I come over here to, read some funny memes. I want to laugh. I want to forget about my problems. I don't come here to address them. And a lot of people look at their musical choices the same way. So evidently, the people who follow this movement, they're like, nah, nah, son, you can go ahead and bust your rhymes and dance around, but we ain't.
Well, see, that's and in today's time, that's the difference between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. That's that Drake makes this dancing music and he can make you dance your ass, and Kendrick is so social, he can make you dance, but he has social commentary in a lot of his music. So that's the difference of how people judge both of them rappers. And I mean, quite simply,
You think Kendrick Lamar make better songs than Drake?
Well, I think that lyrically he's better than Drake, and I think a lot of songs that he put out is better than Drake. You know what I mean? But I'm not a Drake fan. Once the ghostwriting shit allegations came out, that's it for me. That's it.
Okay.
And about Google, somebody said, well, Google all other old school rappers. If you see them that ghostwriters, I said, that's the truth. And I will do that. There's an accountability part. I grew up with the culture.
Yeah, I was only asking about his records. I think it's hard to beat Drake song for song. He's brought some heat. Yeah, as far as his artistry is concerned, he's not easy to beat. In the verses, he gonna beat anybody. Like nobody's gonna beat him.
Well, in a verses, yes, but in a battle, lyrically,
there are no battles lyrically with signed artists. There's no such thing. I mean, you a record battle? That's not a battle to me. I watch it.
I'm talking about.
They know that ain't no battle. It's just all right. I mean, they've told me that just because it's on wax don't mean it's not a battle, son. I'm like, okay. Well, will we ever hear them go toe to toe? Because the public don't give a fuck about that. But what the public does give a fuck about are the songs. That's why I asked you. Do you think
the public just gave a fuck about it in 2024?
How?
The battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
They battled.
They going back and forth. Yeah, they did.
But the public judged them on the songs, not the lyrics.
No, they judged them on. It wasn't just the songs. There's a lot of people that judged them on the lyrics. They was listening to the lyrics. It wasn't just the song. It wasn't just the beats. It was the lyrical content of what they were saying.
That Kendrick Lamar song, They Not Like Us, was the #1 song of that year and not because it was lyrical. It's because that song was easy to listen to. Because a lot of people did not give a fuck about that battle. And I would say that most people who bought the record, who promoted the record, did not give a fuck about that battle. Of course, a lot of people did, but the masses don't care about that. They care about the song. And that's why I asked you, do you think that Kendrick Lamar makes better songs than Drake? I'm like, unequivocally not. Not even close. Not even close. That first Kendrick Lamar album, I thought that shit was trash. But the first Drake album, I thought it was dope. The second one too. But I mean, I get it. But we talking about songs, we talking about songs. Lyrically, it was widely believed that Kool Moe Dee could beat LL. It was widely believed. I don't know if it's true, because LL has some heat that a lot of people didn't know about. But LL beat him on songs, and he beat him easily. It was like a baby. It was like a baby with a rattle. Like, it was easy. Like he can absolutely make a better song. Like Jack the Ripper versus How You Like Me Now. It's like, there's no contest. There's no fucking contest. So as lyrical as Kool Moe Dee was on Let's Go, it was like jingling baby. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna win. So that's why I'm like, a song battle. It's not a real battle, but there will be a winner. He said, bro, what? Drake make pop. You can say Drake make pop, then you gotta say a 50 Cent made pop too. If you gonna talk about singing on the record, then you get all the 50 songs, every last one of them. You gotta say that they was pop. While he indicted Ja Rule for being pop for singing on the records, and he went and sang on all his records, all of them. Mm-hmm. So if you say that 50 is pop and you say Drake is pop, all right, cool. So you also have to say a lot of other records, a lot of other rappers was pop too, because they sang. I guess Nice and Smooth was pop too. Did a lot of singing. Records was pretty good though. Records were pretty good. I don't know. Anyway, Trizoy, my brother, thanks for coming through. I appreciate you.
Anytime, bro. That's how we do it, man. Blessings to everybody. Be blessed, be safe. Everybody take care of yourself. If it's hot where you at, stay hydrated. Stay out, get under that air conditioner. You know, just be blessed, be safe. You know, much love to my brother. You know, conductor of the train, Sun 752. Hopefully, y'all get on tomorrow about 1:30, 2 o'clock for the weekend show.
We'll be here. We'll be here. We'll be here. All right, man. I'll holler at you later.
All right, bro.
All right. And Clay, I do agree that Kendrick is a better rapper than Drake. But I'm just talking about the records. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just talking about the records. Most people can't get with Kendrick on the mic, but most people don't battle him on the mic. That's the problem. It's funny because you take a rapper like Meek Mill that was a straight battle rapper before, but on records, you ain't hear none of that battle ability. It was kind of like most of the songs he was on when he did collabs, he wasn't even the better rapper. I never understood that. Like, Meek, Meek, you was going up against Reed Dollars, and this is what, I don't know. Anyway, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. Hold on. June 5th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Lakeisha Renee, and also Tony Tone, Rowena Lynn Jones Falk, Scott Stevens, Donald Pool Shark Fullard, and Jamila Muhammad, Roni Green, Kathy Dance, Victoria Brock, Gloria A. Fallon, Dallas Thomas, Ty Davis, and Christina Foster. I want to go back to Roni Green. I've known Veronica since I was like 6. We were like in the 1st and 2nd grade together. And she's an active member of and supporter of this show. She ain't been around in a while, but she definitely held it down. So I'm gonna make sure that she got, when my people's birthday come around, I want to make sure they get extra special attention. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious June 5th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on it, do the damn, to rock out. Rock on it, do the damn, rock out. Rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. Anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, play my fault, my brother. I thought it was you, but it was Slate. Yo, niggas like me sometimes make a mistake. I didn't know that you weren't a Kendrick fan. I can understand that. Yo, you still my man. And I ain't caping for none of them cats because they in a different kind of era picture like that. It doesn't mean that they can't get down, but we talking about consciousness now. Gotta be around. No clowns, no dancing. Yeah, a little bit of dancing, but no romancing. Sometimes you gotta make sure that you get your point across before your point gets lost. Listen, boss, don't get tossed out of the place because you was all up in somebody's face and get erased. We try to see you gone. We know you got a family. We know you got to put on for your people. Hope to see you there, not up in the skies, but somewhere it's something surprise me that you would ever make it out in this world. I see your kids, your dog, and your girl. And that's a good look. So let the shit cook. I ain't talking about that beef. Don't get your teeth knocked out, swallow them whole, have to come out of your shit. The shit really ain't legit. It's a skit. But it's only for a couple of seconds. Take a minute to win it. Yo, I'm about to wreck it. I'm about to do some things that's phenomenal. I ain't never seen no shit like shit. Yo, I'm on some other type of like vibes. And I'm going to do this shit until I'm 60 and 9 I'm alive. Now, I ain't trying to get unalived. I don't even say unalived words like that on this show. You know how this shit really go. Standard English, American, UK. I'm going to do this shit. Yo, later today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to be talking about some good ass shit. Bring all of your goons and make sure they sign on and subscribe. Make sure that you keep alive that vibe. It's me and a couple of friends. We got a couple of Beamers, a couple of Benz, a couple of Range Rovers, a couple of foreigns. We got a couple of girls, and they dressed in orange. And I ain't even know that you can rhyme with words like orange, because you ain't supposed to do that. But I did. You never knew that. It's blue black. Yo, you got beaten. Shit is still crazy, but at least we still eating. Yo, the shit ain't paying the way it used to do. But yo, we still here and we gonna do what we came to do. So peace to all of my peoples and all my mans and all of my girls and all of the kids and all my friends. And we gonna make sure that we keep it popping. The consciousness is all up in my dome. And you know that is dropping. Just like the new records you used to do on Tuesday. And I'll be waiting in line trying to get mine. Yo, the new album. Yo, Fear of a Black Planet. Yo, I remember that shit came out in 1990 and it was the hottest shit I ever heard. And I miss them days when we was waiting on the drop. Word. So peace to you and all of y'all. And I'm going to see y'all at 2 o'clock. You know how we ball. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. So make sure y'all come on through. Make sure y'all come on through. You know what I mean? We'll have some fun now. Just me and all the gang. Learning from each other while we do our thing. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Appreciate you, my dudes. Appreciate you, my women. Appreciate you, kids. I holla. Peace, y'all.